women are waking up to that. We're waking up. We're a little afraid again because we haven't given ourselves permission and we have patterns, historical, behavioral, ancestral, generational patterns that cause us to hesitate in the moment we need to step into our greatness.
Yeah.
You know, greatness doesn't mean a TV show or publish a book. Your greatness means that I know no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay.
Be the change you want to see. Make a difference by giving your money a purpose, a mission to do good. Welcome to Money with Mission, where we show you how to create passive income so that you have options for how to work and how to live your life while leaving a legacy of positive social impact.
We are back with Money with Mission, and I have Iyanla Vanzant with me today. If anybody doesn't know who Iyanla is, please stop where you are, go find out, and just be ready to be inspired and enriched from our podcast today. I am super excited. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very, very happy. So, like I said when we were off recording, I learned so much about you in the recent weeks, back from your birth, when you let us know that your mother died at 2 and you didn't know that until you were 30. You becoming a lawyer, you're a minister, you have so many things going on. I want to go back to talk about relationships because I know that's one of the big things for you, especially with your podcast, Our Spot. Did you become a lawyer or a minister first? Let's talk about that first.
Minister,
Okay. What drove you there?
unfolding love of God as the center of my life.
Okay.
Like so many women, I grew up in so much dysfunction and trauma. And like so many women, I tried to manage it on my own and blew my life up. Like so many women, I was reaching out to get everything I thought I needed. And when a bout of postpartum depression, when I was 21, attempted to take my life and ended up spending 6 weeks in the psychiatric ward of a Brooklyn hospital. I found a different God, a different experience of God. First, it was feminine because what saved my life, I believe, was God, of course. I didn't do a good job of living it or taking it. So, and as I was slipping out of consciousness, this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman appeared before me. She was radiantly bronze skinned, dressed in complete African attire. And she said to me, "Do you want to die or do you want to stop hurting?" And I said, "I want to stop hurting." And she said, "I'm going to teach you how to live and I'm going to teach you the business of life." And the next thing I woke up, I was in the hospital. They had pumped my stomach. I spent 6 weeks in the psychiatric ward where there was nothing for me to reach out to or for. So I had to reach in. And I just, having grown up in the church and experienced a lot of spiritual abuse, I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
I found a different God. And because I was not parented, I just kind of grew up. So many of us as women, we weren't raised. We grew up,
Yeah.
because that's the organic process.
Yes.
But in that 6 weeks, I got raised. I
Huh.
was parented, I was nurtured, I was transformed.
And were you raised by the being that you saw, or was there something else that happened? Was there some external force that raised you in that time, do you think?
It was all in my being. It was all within what I could hear, what I could see, what I could feel, what I could remember. Having so much trauma in my early life, just to have it almost neutralized, washed away.
Yeah.
Like we all have those thoughts in our head, whether we're talking to ourselves or we're meditating or imagining. I don't know what it was, and I don't need to know. I know it changed me. We do ourselves a discredit by trying to figure stuff out and label it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I know when I came out of that hospital, I was different than I was when I went in.
Yes. I agree with you so much on I don't really care what happened. This is how I am today. It doesn't matter to me why or how. We already know the why, but the how of it is not necessarily something I need to know. The other thing I think about in that is that you needed that time. You needed those 6 weeks to yourself, and you probably weren't gonna take them any other way. And so
Well,
that
not
whole
newborn baby, not with a 6-week-old baby.
exactly, exactly, exactly. That was the only way you were going to get it. Interesting. And what happened with your children? Did you have 1 child at that point, or did you have more than
I had
1?
2 children.
You had 2
I
children.
had 3. I had the baby, I had a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I had the 6-week-old baby. And my father and his wife took care of them. And, everything that I would worry about, "Oh, I can't go here because I don't have anybody to keep the kids, and I can't do that, and do that." All of that, I
Taken
didn't have
away.
it to worry about,
Just taken away. Just taken away.
and what I did then, 6 weeks by force, I now choose to do 6 minutes. I realize God gives us 24 hours every single day, and we can't give God back 20 minutes
Yeah.
of a day, because we're too darn busy
Yes.
reaching out instead of reaching in.
I often say to patients when they come in, it's like, maybe it's just time for you to rest. Maybe this is
Yeah.
your time. You can do it now. You can choose to do it now, or you can wait till the brick drops out of the sky or the truck hits you and you're really forced to do it. So
Yeah.
we all have that choice. It's really very interesting. So, what made you go to law school? Where did that come from?
I went to college when I was 30. I was
Okay.
years old, 29 on the brink of being 30. And everybody said to me, "You'd make a great lawyer. You'd make a great lawyer. Oh my God, you'd make such a great lawyer." And I was like, "Okay, well, what the hell? I don't have nothing else to do."
Okay. All right.
And also, when I was growing up, I loved Perry Mason.
Uh-huh.
Mason saved everybody. So I wanted to be the Black female Perry Mason. And so I went to law school. And what I also realized was that as a woman of color in this country, I wanted the power. I
Mm,
wanted the power
mhm.
because everybody, the Pope got a lawyer and a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
President, the Pope, and the bishop, everybody has a lawyer and a doctor, and those were seats of power. And I realized now, I didn't realize then that I was really seeking the power or a way to be powerful. Well, once I graduated law school and started practicing criminal law, I didn't like it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, what do you do after you spend 3 years and, $80,000? What do you do? But because I had spent that 6 weeks in the psychiatric ward, I knew when the voice of my source, my creator, God, was speaking to me, and he told me to leave. "I didn't send you here to practice man's law. I sent you here to learn my law." And I began to study universal law, the laws of life, how we operate, how we live, how the universe bigger than us and our problems, how it operates. And it made so much sense to me. But what law school did was train my mind because my mind hadn't been trained. I didn't
Mhm.
know how to do analytical thinking. I didn't know how to do, to carry an argument through from beginning to end. I didn't know how to assess things, but my mind was trained to remember and regurgitate.
Yes.
Read what did they say? Spit it back out. Read this. What did it say? Spit it back out.
Mhm.
No place in my formal education was I ever taught how to apply what I was reading to me in a
Yeah.
way that was helpful. I
Yeah.
mean, not,
No.
A squared plus B squared to C squared. What does that matter when you got kids you're trying to feed? You
Yeah.
know, but universal law was different. And once I started studying it and reading it, I knew how to analyze it, integrate it, and utilize it. So, yeah, that's how I got to law school, and that's what I got out of it, and $80,000 worth of debt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So you went into ministry and you actually went to school for ministry to
I did. I studied under a mentor, Reverend Dr. Barbara King,
okay.
8 years, and I also went to Virginia Union Theological Seminary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you went to law school.
Well, I studied with Dr. Barbara before I went to law school,
Got it.
while I was in law school, after law school, and then I went to First, I got my master's in spiritual psychology. And then after law school, I got a master's. Who
Okay.
knew?
Okay.
Then I
Okay.
went to VUU to seminary.
Got it. Got it. When you got that message that you weren't intended to be here to practice criminal law, what did that feel like to you?
Well, here we go. Because again, that's 6 weeks in seclusion. I had learned to hear God's voice
Mm.
and know when God is speaking to me that if I'm not obedient, I'm gonna get a pow pow on my butt. And I don't want that. I don't want a spiritual pow pow. I've had many. So they said, leave and leave here now. I left. I took my purse, my keys, and I left. I didn't take my law degree off the wall, my honey out the door desk, my tea bags, nothing. I
Huh.
left.
Huh. Interesting. So I had the same sort of experience with going to med school, residency. I'm 5 years in, and this isn't it. And I kept it with me for the next 10 years, but I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And it was quite some time later that has evolved over time what I'm here for. But I definitely had the fear of what am I here to do? And let me figure this out while I'm still in this situation.
Oh, that was a deep question. I never had that question. Never had, what am I here to do? I never had that question. But what I can say is that as I became obedient to my inner authority, everything just unfolded. I
Mm.
left my job as a lawyer. I had 3 kids and a cat. And somebody said, well, you can collect unemployment. I said, well, what is that? I'd been working since I was 13 years old. I said, somebody will pay you not to work? Is that I never heard nothing, no such a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went and got my little unemployment check and I stayed home for a year. I started writing a newsletter and sending it out and one step at a time, one thing at a time. I think I had been unemployed maybe about 3 or 4 months when somebody who had heard me speak on the radio called me and asked me, would I be willing to come and teach life skills to women who were being transitioned off of public assistance? I said, is it paying? They said, yeah. Yes. When do I start? I'll be there tomorrow. So I went to teach the women because I had done it. I knew
Yeah.
how to create your life to move from one stage to another. And so worked there for about a year and I used to make handouts for them. And one day the thought came to me, this is a book. This is a book. So I, like every first author back then, not now, I went to Kinko's and copied everything and put it together, me and my best friend, and had a book. Woo! Tapping the Power Within. And somebody saw it, gentleman in Philadelphia. I think his wife had it, his girlfriend had it, and he had a small publishing company. He said, I'd like to really publish this and make this a book. And he did, Tapping the Power Within. He published it and somebody introduced it to somebody and an agent called me and wanted to take it to a publisher. I mean, if you do what you're supposed to do, the universe brings it in. I didn't know I was an author. I
Yeah.
didn't write, but Tapping the Power Within was my first book. He published it. I used to sell it out of the trunk of my car and give it to bookstores on consignment. How that became a national book, I don't know. I don't know. Women passing it around, copying pages. I would leave 20 copies at the bookstore and they'd call me and say, those are gone. You got to bring me some more. That's how I sold my first book.
Wow. Wow. And as I'm hearing, you were stepping out, every single step was on faith. You're like, I don't know where the next step
Yeah.
is. I'm just taking this one because it's what I know to do.
That's all you can do. Stay in
Mm.
the moment. I mean, now it's a big moment. It's a big movement. Be present in the moment. I was present in the moment because I couldn't afford to go nowhere else.
I got to just
Right
get it
there,
right
right.
now. I'm going to take care of this right now. It's very interesting to me to think about you and even me going to these expensive, extensive schools that are supposed to be the end game, law school, medical school. And in our society today, everybody thinks that is the thing, and you're going to go through your life and retire from that thing. And the way you say and the way I say is like, I went there for something. It wasn't it, but I know now it wasn't to be that thing. It was to give me something else. And that's very interesting to me. And I wonder how many people and women particularly are out there in that same space and afraid to take that step to do the thing they really are here for.
Many, many, many of them, because we are educated, programmed, and conditioned in a patriarchal society that teaches us that external validation is the way to go, that the intellect is the way to go. I'm sure you, like me, have a very highly developed mind. Now I use that mind to figure out how to serve and support people. I don't use that mind to advance myself, to achieve, to get other people's approval. The
Yeah.
thing is that we haven't given ourselves permission not to know.
Yes.
That's a very important thing. That giving permission, give yourself permission to not to know, trusting and believing that you'll be okay. Trust is the internal, faith is the external, the work they're doing. And no matter what happens, I mean, it wasn't easy. I came off welfare to go to college and law school, making 225 an hour to walk away from that. I lost my house. I had to sleep on a friend's sofa for almost a year, but I was willing.
Mhm.
I was willing. I didn't know where I was going. But if all I could have was a friend's sofa right now, then let me have that and not to be freaked out about it. And after I had reached the pinnacle in my career, been on Oprah, publishing, at the time I had 13, 14 books published, I ended up having to file bankruptcy, losing my house. I didn't file bankruptcy because I had bad credit. I filed bankruptcy because I had bad accountants and I hadn't paid the proper taxes.
Yeah.
So I lost my house and my publishing contract and had to start all over. But that's because I had built it on a false premise. And the false premise was that what I'm doing out there makes me who I am. Even after all of that, I got off track and I
Mhm.
was outside instead of inside. And it was my house and the career, it was the fruit of the poisonous tree.
Yeah.
And, some of us have a purpose and a mission, and our creator is very protective of that. Had I continued going the way I was going, I would have burnt out long time ago. I'm 70. I don't take a pill. I don't have diabetes, hypertension. When I go to the hospital, they're like, well, what medications are? I'm not on no medication. You don't take any? No. I never had a hot flash, didn't have
Oh,
night sweats, none of that. Why?
yeah.
Because I have inner authority and I know what's necessary and not necessary. So I think that women are waking up to that. We're waking up. We're a little afraid again because we haven't given ourselves permission and we have patterns, historical, behavioral, ancestral, generational patterns that cause us to hesitate in the moment we need to step into our greatness.
Yeah.
You know, your
Yeah.
greatness doesn't mean a TV show or publish a book or, a million friends on Facebook. Your greatness means that I know no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay.
Yes. Yes. That was beautiful. Thank you. Shifting a little bit, because you brought up some things in there about money. And we talked a little bit before about a book called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist that you gave a testimony on. And that what you said, if you don't remember, is with her gentle, generous, and wise approach to a difficult topic, Lynn guided me through a personal transformation of how I think about money, how I handle money, and what money represents.
Mm.
Do you do a lot with relationships? You have your podcast, the R Spot, where people call in and talk about their relationships, which I actually love. I was sitting in the car the other day and my friend comes out and was like, "You're about to see me crying on this podcast." So it's like, I think you were talking to a mom with a son who was just misbehaving in all kinds of ways.
Oh, he was just horrible.
It was not good. How do you think our relationships with our families of origin affects our relationships with money.
Oh, it sets the template. It sets the template because we also have a relationship with money. And
Yes.
many of us have a dysfunctional relationship with money because we come from dysfunctional programming, conditioning in our family of origin. My family, my mother was deceased. My father was a street gambler. My mother was my grandmother who raised me in the first 5 years was a domestic worker. So money was scarce. Oh, we can't afford that. You can't have that. And, money came in and went out. Oh, you
Mhm.
got money, pay this bill, pay that bill. There was no relationship with money. It was a means to an end. It wasn't until I learned that money is my own natural energy yield. It's a medium of exchange. The more energy I have about myself, within myself, the more money I can have. And I exchange money because that's what they asked for. But I could do it with goats or chickens or beans or rubles.
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yes.
So, and particularly for women of color, because we have such a depreciated view and value of ourselves on the inside. And we're so busy working to build that on the outside till we can have money and still be miserable. So it doesn't really matter. It's you got to have a good relationship with money, and we have to rise above our money stories because we
Yes.
all inherited a money story. Money makes you better. My money story happened to be people with money are bad and mean because I watched what happened to my grandmother as a domestic worker for wealthy white people for many,
Mhm.
many years.
Mhm.
And the thing said to her and the way they treated her. And she used to take me to work with her on Saturday because I wasn't in school. And I stood on a milk crate and I ironed pillowcases and napkins, cups and collars of shirts. And her madam, the woman who owned the house, used to say, Reese, don't let her touch anything. She'll make it dirty. So I used to have to stand on that box and iron just like this. I couldn't touch a wall or floor or nothing because I would dirty it. So what does that tell a 5, 6, 7-year-old girl about who she is if she can't touch nothing because she'll make it dirty?
Dirty. Yeah.
You can work. You can work because I was working. I was ironing. And how many of us work and never get paid our worth? And we think it's the employer. No, it's you, boo. It's
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Yes. And our entire mindset around money as far as a scarce thing keeps us in places. You had the courage, the guts, and as you've said in another place, the lady balls to walk away from your law practice, leaving the honey in the drawer, where many of us stay in a place where we are unhappy and feel handcuffed and bonded to this thing because we don't think we can get it anywhere else. We don't think we can get what we're getting anywhere else from there. And
And
that's
that's Lynn talks about in her book, money has a soul and it's abundant, it's plentiful, it's everywhere. But if you're thinking about it as that it's in lack and scarcity, or that you need it. Many of us seek money and don't take care of our own soul. We don't have a deep connection to our own soul. We don't even know how to access that. And when we raise our soul energy, our soul frequency to where money is vibrating, it'll just come to you. Things will happen.
yes. Yes. That's it. That so many people are talking about the vibration these days. I don't know that I 100% understand it because I think about vibration as a vibrism move, something's moving. Is that what it means or is there something else there? What is that?
Absolutely know what it means. You're a doctor. So when you put the EKG thingies on somebody, what do you see? You see the rhythm, their heartbeat. That's a
Yes.
frequency, that's an energy.
Yes.
It's do, 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 do. Oh, that's a good energy. That's the good frequency. If it's doom, 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 and this person's in trouble. That's what's going on. It's up this frequency here. But this person ain't gonna be around much longer. Of course you do. Well, there's an invisible frequency, an invisible vibration. When you see somebody here, you look at them and you smiling because they smiling. When you see
Yes.
somebody here, you looking at them and you're like, well, okay, what's going on? That's the energy. That's the frequency. That's the vibration.
100%. I do understand that. And I call it energy when I'm in a room with somebody. and I start feeling depressed, and it's like you're like, okay, that's not mine. That is their thing that's catching on to me, and you got to get out of there so you can shake it off so you don't walk around with that for the rest of the day. It feels like, and maybe it's just the circles I travel in, that we are becoming more aware of that, or is it the circles I travel in and we still are such in a place in our country where I believe sometimes it feels like we're in such a low vibration state in our country that
Yeah.
things are just not good. And actually, I was in a conference in Cancun, and Lynn spoke and talked about how our current systems are dying and they're actually in hospice, and we just need to love them till they die so that the new can come, so that what's to come is there. In the book, she talks about the caterpillar and how a caterpillar in the last stages of its life just eats, and consumes and consumes and consumes. And then these other cells come in, and the caterpillar actually becomes the nutrition for these other cells that turn it into the butterfly. That gives me chills even just to think about it right now. It's just such a beautiful thing. But when you look at that metaphor in our country and what's going on right now, we're near the end stages of
Yeah, that I'm not French. I, ma'am, and I watch it eating my popcorn. Oh, this is so interesting because I recognize the programming, the conditioning, the patterning, and of the patriarchal system, the masculine system, and how what they use to throw women off center is fear. Women
yeah,
are afraid of everything, afraid the kids ain't gonna get to school, afraid the kids gonna get shot in school, afraid the eggs cost 75 cents more, and afraid there's not enough and the gas is going. They use fear to do that. And I'm like, do I have 75 cents extra to pay for these eggs? Well, I don't eat eggs. But anyway, either I'm gonna buy the eggs or I'm not. Why
yes,
I have to be afraid of what they can be, whatever they're gonna be. If I
yeah,
need an egg, I'm gonna get an egg. If I
yeah,
need a gallon of gas, I'm gonna get the gallon of gas. But they constantly program us into this thing. What's exciting for me is even though all of this is going on in the country, women, because we gather and we talk, women are really getting hip to, okay, this thing right here, this ain't working. The court system coming down, they're tearing down. So what do? They go after it. Oh, you can't have an abortion. You can have sex with me. I can impregnate you and leave you, but you can't make a choice or a decision for yourself. No, you're not going to do that. And you know what? You send your kids to school. I'm going to give the teacher a gun. I mean, just the most ridiculous things that we're seeing. And so we got to wake up to a new way of being. And women have been doing the work for a while, even with you understanding this whole money thing. I mean, I have friends all over this country, and I'll have one call me and say, listen, I got a thing next week. I need a white something, something. Oh, let me go get in the closet. Now, FedEx.
yeah,
We've
yeah,
all exchanged things and ideas and kids and money and everything. We do
yeah,
that.
yes.
So we don't have to, I don't know what they're doing. That don't have nothing to do with me.
I guess what I'm thinking is that we have to be ready, the women and people in the know, be ready for when it all falls apart? Or do you think it's going to be more of a natural transition kind of
Oh, what? No, they gonna fight tooth
right
and
till
nail to the
that's
very
what I
bitter
feel too.
end. You
That's what I feel.
see it.
Yeah.
I'm not calling no names and I ain't one to gossip, but you see it happening right before you. Don't make the mistake of thinking that's about one person or one incident. It's about all of us. First of all, what's being demonstrated to us is what we do inside of ourselves.
Mhm.
As a doctor, life begins within. In the
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
see it, but it's forming, it's meshing, and then it comes forward. So once it comes forward, you can see what was formed and meshed in the darkness. So what we are seeing out there is a function of what was formed and meshed in the darkness of that one person, but that person happens to be the leader of the country. So people better start saying, well, how do I do that? How have I done that? How do I do that in my home, in my relationships, with my money? How do I do that? Don't judge it and get all excited. Oh, how do I do it? And then once we start cleaning it up inside, and that's what's happening, people are starting to detach from the matrix, detached from the system, detached from the titles and all of that. Oh, I can work at home. Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna
Yes.
put my pajama bottoms on and sit right here on Zoom, eating my popcorn. You know, we start to detach from the system, and the system is going crazy. They're going crazy.
Yeah.
So when I tell my friends that this is what I did, because money is, when the system go down, the ATM card ain't gonna work. So have you some
Yep.
money in the house.
Yes.
I got
Yes.
money in the house, cash money, if there's any place to spend it.
If
Okay.
there's I'm the same way. It's like, yes, I got the cash. So hopefully if there's some place to spend it, I also have toilet paper and I have some things to exchange.
Oh, I will never be caught without toilet paper. And long as I stay black, I will never be caught without toilet paper. Because I did not have that, and I didn't know why everybody had scooped. I said, "Is that part of the cure? Why is everybody buying the toilet paper?" I didn't have none, okay? I didn't have no paper towels because I wasn't home, I was filming. So when they sent me home, I went home to my 2 little I need that toilet paper like this.
Pizza.
I made years, but that'll never happen. "You need some toilet paper?" I can paper.
I got like every time I go to Costco, I load
Okay.
it with another
Yeah.
one.
And I'm over here. Get the toilet paper, get the paper towels, yeah?
Yep.
Well, you notice how much more expensive they are, and if I got the 22.98 to buy them, I'm gonna buy them, and I'm not gonna complain about
I was gonna say I didn't even notice that because I needed toilet paper. Just like you said about like you're either gonna buy it or you're not.
it. I think more and more of us are waking up. I think the mistake that we're making is we're not teaching our daughters along the way. We're not talking to them enough. We're not, because 'cause they're still on the pole wanting to make videos, and that's gonna go away too.
Yeah. Huh. The 2 children that came to me, both girls, and I love the story that I've heard you say about the souls choose where they're coming, and I believe that. Before I heard you say that, I was like, "There's other people that believe it." It's and I believe my children came to me perfect, knowing all the things they needed to know, and my job was not to mess that up. And my 2 girls are out there doing amazing things. I don't feel like they're in the masses, the millennial masses, the whole, all the characteristics that we put on millennials now. It's like, I don't see that, not in my children or their friends. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that's very interesting to me. And how much do we put on people because we see it in just a few? You generalize so much. We as a people can generalize so much and not pay attention to what somebody's saying and how you're soaking that into yourself. That's something that's not even true for you. Something that might be true for somebody else that's not true for me that I take in because I didn't pay attention to their words.
A lot of us have things that we've taken on about money. I think money is one thing, but more damaging is what we've taken on about our personal value and worth,
Mm,
particularly as women, because you
yes.
cannot outlive the level of your belief. So if you don't believe you're worthy of wealth, prosperity, abundance, love, respect, whatever it is, if you don't know your value simply by being who you are, not by what you know, not by what you can give, not by what you do, but simply by being who you are. If you don't, I don't care how hard you work, you're never going to experience abundance and prosperity because you don't deserve it. You got to be vibrating at the frequency of it. I learned that. I learned that. One of the things is self-care is probably, I call it the first commandment. For thou shalt not kill is thou shalt take care of thyself. Because what I do to me and for me, I do for God, my source and creator. And self-care can only be engaged to the level that you believe you're worthy and deserve it. And so many of us don't believe that we're worthy of our own time, energy, and attention. And we're programmed and conditioned to do everything for everybody else, even the kids and the husband and the mother and the brother and the sister. And you know what my saying is? When people come to me to interfere with my self-time, I'm not on that committee.
That's
I'm not on that.
Right.
I'm not. Not today. I'm not. So self-care to me is the most valuable resource we have, and we don't utilize it properly. But we will kill ourselves and dog ourselves out to make money. Doesn't make sense to me. You ain't gonna be here to spend it. Or you gonna have to spend it on pharmaceuticals.
Yes, to make money or to take care of somebody else and not fuel yourself. This is interesting. My daughter, my younger daughter and I, who's 28, had a long conversation not too long ago. And at the end of that conversation, our commitment to each other was every day to do one thing for ourselves, because both of us tend to do so much for other people. And
Yeah. A happy habit. I think every day you should have a happy habit, a healthy habit, a wealthy habit. A happy habit, something that makes you happy for no other reason than it makes you happy. Me, it's Law and Order. So every day, if I can find an episode of Law and Order, Imma find it. Now I'm moving over to Blue Blood.
okay.
You know, plus mindless, ridiculous TV. I
Yeah.
see the same episodes over and over and over and sit there.
Like, like you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
You happy? Okay. Quilting makes me happy. So yeah, I'm gonna spend an extra $100, $200 on quilting fabric that I may or may never use, but it makes me happy. My healthy habit. You know, my biggest thing was water, my water intake. So I got my water. I gotta drink my water. Every place I go, I got a bottle of water. And I put these stickers on it. You see all my stickers? So that I'm drinking peace and I'm drinking love. I
Got it.
these stickers from thespiritofwater.com, and I get glass bottles or plastic bottles. This happens to be glass. So not only am I drinking the water, I'm infusing it because what you see, you be. So I can see peace, see love. So water was mine. That's my healthy habit. And I
Tell me
said
where you get the stickers from again.
thespiritofwater.com.
Okay.
You can put them on. I drink water out of these bottles, but you can also put them on your bottles that you buy in the store, and then
Yeah.
they come right off. So you can move them around wherever you're going. But I
Okay.
put enough of them in the trash that I stopped doing that. So that's my healthy habit. My wealthy habit, at the end of the day, any money, coins particularly, I coins, single dollars that I haven't used or spent that I've gained. Of course, everybody does everything with cards now, but I try to have some cash. I put it in a jar
Yeah.
and I start the next day. And I always try to buy something with cash. So I end up with coins and dollars. A healthy habit, a happy habit, a wealthy habit every single day.
I haven't gotten to that wealthy habit every day, but every month I have money going into accounts that are not my regular thing. So those just build up, build up, build up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that too. I have my little accounts over in the corner. One comes directly out of my paycheck. One is any extra money I get that goes into another one. And I'll tell you, having grown up in such deprivation and poverty, sometimes when I think, oh, wait a minute, you got money? You got his over there? Oh,
Yeah.
let me go over there and look at my money.
Yes.
Money? How you
Yes.
doing?
Yes. 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 It is. And sometimes that is all you need is like when I get that same kind of feeling of, "Oh, I don't have any money, go crack your safe and look how much money you have in there for that day when you're going to need it. It is
Right,
there. If
right.
you just, you have things I have to work that through my mind. It's like, okay, I need money. I need money. I need money. No, you've got money. It is there. All you have to do is imagine it. It comes.
Yeah.
Vibrate on the right frequency and you will be fine.
My patio door broke, and oh, okay, the door's broke. Let me get. And they came back and told me the door was going to cost $10,000. My spirit just came forward and said, "Yama, you have $10,000." I do. Oh, I got it. Remind me where it is. Oh yeah, that is money, ain't it?
I forgot about that.
Door, and don't worry about paying the bill. It always happens.
Gonna ha-
I got that door on June. I think it was June 10th. The bill is already paid.
So it's not even 3 weeks.
And I can't even tell you why the money came to me. I mean, it came. I said, okay, fine.
Yes. Let me let me pay this card off so that that's
Yeah.
not sitting
That's
there.
what I think, because I don't want to incur the interest. But
Yes.
the fact is that if I had to, I would. That money would have come too. So it was just what I was saying, that the habit, the program, the conditioning is to immediately go into lack.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I have flies and buzzards and bees coming in my house because the door is broken. I look up and a bird did come in the house.
Oh my,
I was in the living room and I said, "What in the world?" It was a bird. A
oh
bird
my.
came in through the door, and then I was trying to get it out. It kept banging its head on the glass, knocked itself out. I picked it up and put it
Put it
outside,
outside.
put some water on it. It flew away. Okay, fine. So I was not gonna spend the summer chicken because I live in the country. I got crows, duck, geese, vultures, everything. No, $10,000. Here's a credit card. Nah. But we also do that how we limit and lack the things that we need that make us happy.
Mm,
Won't
yes.
won't take a day off. I have this vision I want to share with you, and your listeners. I have a vision that for just one day, one 24-hour period, no woman would spend a dime in this society.
Mhm.
Not a penny. Not with a credit card, not with an ATM. Just pull out of this society and see what happens. I think it would demonstrate to us how powerful we are. We keep this thing floating and we stay in the matrix of it by just understanding how powerful we are. Just one day, Felicia, just one day. Every woman pull her money out. Just don't spend nothing. Wouldn't that be delicious?
That would be very delicious. And I'm ready to pick a day. Let's just pick-
Well, I think we'd have to do a lot of education first, because for me, that is money with a mission. That is letting the politicians and the leaders and the religious leaders and everybody know, you all have to start paying attention to our needs and our value and our worth. Because if women pull out of this system for one day, it would fall to its knees. It
It's a
would fall.
problem. I love that. Okay. This year? Should we do it this year?
2024 be better.
Okay.
2020, our year. So
Okay.
when I say Mother's Day 2024, don't
There it is.
spend,
It's called Mother's Day 2024.
pull it out.
Women
I'm
are not spending.
spending not anything. Get everything you need the day before. Let's just see the impact that our absence in this matrix has on the society. Let us recognize our value and our worth. Just
Mm.
go out. Nothing. Don't buy nothing. Just for a day, 24
I'm,
hours.
I'm in.
I'm
I'm
into
in.
I keep
I'm in.
thinking about it. I would, and the next level to me would be one day everybody stay home. Every woman, don't go nowhere. No,
Mm.
don't. I'm sorry. Everybody call in sick. Every teacher, every nurse, every doctor, every cop, every supermarket cashier,
Oh my gosh.
teller, everybody stay home one day, 24 hours.
That
Okay.
would be an education.
Okay.
That.
For them and for us.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For them and for us, because we continue to pour the best of who we are into a system that doesn't honor
It
us.
said, mhm.
And we expect that system that doesn't honor us to pay us. That's not, God is my source and my supply.
Yes.
What the system does, I'm going to be okay.
To honor us, support us, to give us what we need, and we are not demanding it.
No,
And that's one of the things you talk about. If you don't demand it, it's not going to happen.
it's going to happen. And you don't have to demand it with a picket
In an
sign,
ugly, exactly, in an ugly way.
in an ugly way. Like I said, just pull your money out the system one day and say, you want to talk about abortion now?
Yeah.
How about that? You want to talk about abortion now? You want to talk about gun safety now, since it's by our kids that are being shot up in the school? Let's talk about that. Oh, you don't want to talk about that? Okay, I'm taking tomorrow off.
That is and that's even thinking Martin Luther King Jr. type activity is just boycott, done, one whole day, 24 hours, not happening.
Not even a boycott. I'm not boycotting you
Not
because it's about you. I am taking my power and using it for my good, for my better, for my
Mm.
will. And I'm telling you, one day, oh, let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about gun safety. Let's talk about elder care, whatever it is. These are our asks. This is what we're asking. You don't want to have the discussion? All right. I think I got a cold.
I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well right now.
One day, 24 hours. Same thing if we pulled off of social media. I mean, there's so many easy, effortless ways, but we've got to be willing to give up the creature comfort. We've
Yes.
got to be willing to do what's not comfortable. We've got to be willing to have people in opposition to it. We got to be willing because people will watch you kill yourself
Yeah.
and won't say a word because they don't want to hurt your feelings or upset you or it ain't their business. Listen, I think one of the most disturbing, I know we probably ain't talking about nothing you want to talk about,
No,
but
this is all really good stuff. This is what we need to talk about.
the other day I was reading, it's in my phone, about a woman in, I don't know where they were, but she got into an altercation with a man in a store and the man hit her, punched her. She texts her 14-year-old son who's in the car, bring me my gun. She had a licensed gun in the car. The kid come to the whippersnapper, 14, with the gun. At the time that he was punching the mother again. She tells the son to shoot him. He shot the man and killed him. 14 years old. I said, okay, this is a mother that lost sight of who she was.
Yeah.
And I was the son is going to protect his mother. Jump on his back, gouge his eyes out, bite his something.
Yeah.
But how did mother tell the child to go get the gun? What did she want him to do with that? And then my bigger question was, were there other men in the store?
Where was everybody else in the store? Yes.
Taking the pictures
Yeah.
and put it up on
Videotaping it. Yes.
We are so out of order. We are so out of order. And we've got to do something about this. So my work, my love is women. I
We are
think
both.
we've
Yes.
got the power. We've got it. We've got it. We just have been programmed out of it, conditioned out of it, educated out of it, out of it, out of it. And we're suffering. You're an MD, crisis of health among women, whether
Yes.
it's hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, the things. And a lot of it is because of what's going on inside of us.
Yes. That's what I was going to. It's like so much of it is everything that we've taken in and are not dealing with inside. So much. As a urologist, I see women with pelvic pain, and you start asking the questions that need to be asked in a non-threatening way. From you had a pelvic trauma causes pelvic pain. Delivering a baby is a pelvic trauma. Having a bladder infection is a pelvic trauma. Being raped is a pelvic trauma. I ask those questions just like that. And I can tell you 9 out of 10 times, like, oh, yes, I was raped, but that doesn't have anything to do with that. I got over it.
Yeah. And or I'm sleeping with a man that don't respect me. That's
Yes.
traumatic too.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
a whole nother show, a whole nother
That's
career.
another conversation. So in the R spot, how long has that been going on? Has that been for
This is the first year, and it's
first
been
year?
really, really good, really wonderful. I'm just so humbled and so honored that people call me to and trust me with their heart. Trust me with their heart. And maybe because of the anonymity, I
Mhm.
can't see them, I don't mention their name, but the issues are so common and so widespread. They trust me with their heart. And Creator trusts me to bring forth some level of wisdom to help people because we've got to clean up our relationship.
Yeah.
Mother-daughter relationships, father-son relationship, marriages, the whole, what is a marriage today? What is a marriage today? Who is a parent today? We got to clean it up.
Yeah.
And it begins with our relationship with ourselves.
Ourselves. Yes. Yes. Trying to have that defined outside of you is not how that's going to happen. Hmm. So you see the R spot and this development and improvement in relationships as another way to help women get in touch with themselves. Tell me,
Absolutely.
tell me how
Absolutely.
that.
Because the condition of your relationship is a reflection of the condition of your heart.
Okay.
Every relationship is a heart condition. I don't care what it is, good, bad, indifferent. And so what I learned in my own life was nobody taught me how to have a relationship. And the ones that I saw were, like you said, they were in critical care units. They
Yes.
need triage constantly.
Yes.
I
Yes.
learned how to have entanglements. I learned how to have codependent, I don't even know, interactions. I didn't know how to have an authentic, intimate, self honoring, honorable relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
So the relationship was I do what you want me to do, you do what I want you to do, and we'll be fine. You know,
Mm,
intimacy,
mm, mm.
intimacy, how to really be present with someone, how to see them and accept them without wanting to change them. You can love everybody, but everybody don't have to be your lover. Some
Yeah.
people, you're just not good together. I married the same man twice over the course of 40 years. We love each other desperately, but we're not good together. We're
Mm,
just not. We're
mm,
just not good together.
mhm.
And once I got that, I was like, I tell you what, I'm gonna keep on loving you, but you go over there.
You know,
Go over with yourself. And we still love each other. And he's
mm,
remarried. I've been in other relationships, and we still love each other. So we give ourselves permission to love each other without having to have that traditional, you got to be together. And women
right.
need to learn that. You can love everybody. And if they stop, I tell you, when our marriage finally ended, and I was just absolutely just, I don't even know, I just a wild woman, crazy. How dare you ruin my reputation in that relationship? You don't want me? I am Iyanla Vanzant.
Oh,
What
that-
is wrong with you? So, but after, when I had a chance to sit down and think about it, and again, we love each other. We really are soulmates. We've been together since I was 13, he was 17. But when I sat down and thought about it and prayed about it and journaled about it and plotted his death and then forgave myself, plotted all the ways I was gonna kill him and her, but never forgave myself for that. I came down to a very simple thing. It was so simple, Felicia, till it took my breath away. He
Lord.
changed his mind. He changed his mind. What he wanted for himself and what he thought was best for him wasn't me anymore. He changed his mind. I do that 50 times a day.
It happens all the time.
Why
Yeah.
was I mad at him for changing his mind? He didn't owe me his life. He didn't owe me anything, and I didn't owe him anything. He changed his mind. Oh, okay. Here you go. Now, how do I give myself permission to continue loving you and move on with your life? You don't get to occupy all the space in my heart.
Yeah.
Love you and still move on. And once I learned how to do that, and I think that's so important for men and women. Somebody don't want you, you don't stalk them and kill them. Although you can make the
You can
plan.
you can but you can think about it. Yeah. Make sure you burn that paper just in case somebody.
Yeah, then you tuck that plan away or you burn it or something. You don't act on it. Change their mind.
Yeah.
Everything grows. We outgrow each other. We outgrow that original dream. We outgrow, this is what we have. This is, you want that? Okay, I'll take this, you take that. Let's be nice to each other so that the children get to see what relationship looks like. Marriage is not a relationship. Marriage is a
Yeah.
contract that establishes the boundaries of a relationship. The relationship is what goes on between the two people. Marriage is just the contract.
Say
So
that
you
again. Say that
up
again.
to
Marriage is a contract that defines.
create the boundaries for the relationship between two people. What makes the marriage isn't that piece of paper. What makes the marriage is the relationship.
Relationship. Yeah.
And we get caught up in the paper, the divorce and the legal and the blah. I know people that have been together 30, 40, 50 years. They never went someplace and got the contract signed.
Yeah.
It's the relationship. And if we're in relationship breakdown, I don't care how many pieces of paper you have, it's not going to work. And same thing with our money.
Mm.
You can have lots and lots and lots of money. Well, how are you in relationship with that money? Money is meant to be used, to be served, to take care of you. So you have your little nest egg for your savings for over here, and then use it.
Use it. Put it out there.
Yeah. Invest it, serve people in philanthropy, whatever. What in the world how much money can Jeff Bezos spend? I got something for him to do
I-
with it. Help him.
Yes.
I got
Yes.
two things that his money can find there. What do you need that for? What is that? So then you go to the moon and you go see the Titanic? Why?
It is a scorecard, and that is how the patriarchal way to look at it. And we've all bought into that. Is the more money you have, the better you are.
I keep telling you, I ain't French. We ain't in that.
The outside of us, the other.
They did. They all bought into.
Yes. I'm gonna put myself in that to some degree, and I'm working my way out of that. But that is 100% a thing I've bought into, and am disengaging from that on a regular basis. It's not one thing you can just stop doing. Like so many things, you got to keep doing it every day.
It's the program. It's the condition. It's the education. It's the matrix.
Yeah.
It's the matrix.
Yeah.
And if we don't begin to pull ourselves out of that, that's why when the pandemic happened, people were losing their minds. They couldn't go to a job that they hated. They hate their job, but they couldn't go, and they was horrified. Or they couldn't get out to see people that they
didn't want to see.
Back.
Yes.
And then they're home with the people they're supposed to love, and like, dude, I don't like you. Why are you here? Parents didn't want to be with their kids. Kids didn't want to be. I had my popcorn. I hadn't been home for 6 consecutive weeks in 13 years. I was home. I was running around naked, just bumping my breast up on the mirror. And I know that it was tragic for so many people. I don't make light of that at all, not at all. But
Yeah.
it all depends on where you were. I lost 2 people during the pandemic, and of course couldn't go to the service or whatever. So I know people really suffered. Breadwinners died, grandparents, and all of that. I'm not talking about that part of it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about where you were with it as an individual.
Yeah.
That was the setup for what's getting ready to happen.
Yes. Yes. I can't even remember the lady that she's a little, I don't know, it's like 5-minute video. The pandemic is a portal, and
Yeah.
you can come through it, dragging your old baggage with you, or you can come through it, leaving all that stuff back there into this new world. This is the butterfly opening up now. We have the ability. It gave us a chance, and we can keep doing what we're doing, which is what we're doing right now. Hopefully enough have seen the light to be able to do something different and really make this a difference and not fall back into all of that.
Do it in a different way. It was a wonderful opportunity to reset, to reassess, to rebuild, to recreate all of the reads that you could get out of it. And in many ways, it was like a cleansing.
Yeah.
Of our minds, of our hearts, the way we interacted. The earth was really happy because we weren't out there polluting her.
That's and to my knowledge, has there been anything that's happened worldwide? I didn't think so either.
And the thing that I'm a little strange, I said there has been nothing. I'm 70. There's been nothing that I know of that has ever occurred that has ever shut the doors of the church. I
Mhm.
said, "Okay, let me pay attention." Churches never reopen.
Yeah.
Many Christians are still online. Some are doing a combination. Nothing, not 18 inches of snow. Nothing has
No,
ever shut the
no.
doors. So that to me was a sign. Okay, there's something really wonderful going on here. Let me see what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're all being called to change, changing how we deal with each other, how we deal with money, how we deal with our resources. And I love that money with a mission, because if money is my own natural energy yield, then what is my mission
Mm,
related to my life?
mm.
Life is as a source of income. My
Yes.
So money
Yes.
recognition means we need to look at energy, look at our lives, look at ourselves, and really make sure that we have a mission beyond working and paying bills. And how do we do that? And can we do that with joy? Can we do it in peace?
I 100% believe so. We have gone past our time. I'm gonna let this I could keep going. I could really keep going. This is so much fun. Iyanla.com, is that how people find you in
Uh,
your life school?
Yeah, my Innovations Institute for Spiritual Development. We have a beautiful online personal development program where people realize the matrix isn't working and they don't have the skills or tools to do anything else. So it's a year-long online program. I also have a spiritual life coaching program.
Okay.
That's a year-long. Right now, I'm in the midst of a rites of passage program for women.
That's right. I had seen it and then it was gone. I was like, "Didn't."
Oh, I had to shut it down. Shut it down. So we're going through that 9-week process right now, and then
Okay.
together in August. So what else? Getting ready to do a lot of work with formerly incarcerated men. I've been working with women for 35 years, so I'm kind of changing lanes to really start working with the men, starting with those who are formerly incarcerated, because they've done their time and they're still being penalized.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
prison, prison is traumatic. So they trauma sent them in, they were traumatized in, and now they're coming out and expected to be productive citizens. Really? Now
Yeah.
who does that make sense to? No, because prison, if you think about it, prison is the only place on the planet that I know of where there is no love. None. There is no love in the prison. I'm talking about pure, authentic, unconditional love.
Yeah.
Just ain't loving the guards ain't loving the prisoners ain't loving each other.
Each
They
other.
stripped of their humanity,
Mhm.
connection, family, everything. And I'm not saying prison was supposed to be for rehabilitation, and now it's for
Yeah.
revenge,
Yeah.
for which there is
Yeah.
no redemption.
Yeah.
So I have men in my family, my son, my grandson, both of who been involved with the criminal justice system, and I've watched them
Mm.
suffer inside and outside. First of all, you can't expect a human being to thrive if you're feeding them the lowest quality of food you
Mm.
can.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're not nurturing their bodies, you're not nurturing their mind, and they're robbed of the one thing that everybody needs, which is love. Love. So that's my mission. I want to awaken 1 million men who've been formerly incarcerated.
That's your new one. How well, how can I want to know how I can help? What can I do to help
Call Jeff
her
Bezos and get some
cult?
money. Got a vision. I got a vision, and I'm working. I hope I live long enough to make it happen. I think 2 things: continue doing what you're doing so I don't have to do it. Uh,
I'm enrolling as many people as I can in this vision. I really am. It is
I,
just
I'm good at personal development. I'm good at healing and that kind of stuff. I don't wanna have to bring money into my repertoire, so please continue doing what you're doing. That would be so very helpful to me. And I don't know, whenever anything comes across your heart, your mind, your desk, and you think of me, just call me. Support the spread of the work, because my work, but because I think it's what God has me here to do. And
yes.
just take care of yourself so that you can keep doing this for a long, long time.
Yes. I thank you so much. I will. And I am so sure that something's going to come across where we will see each other, meet each other, work together because there's too much synergy here to me. Um, that this is amazing. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it so much. I don't want to stop. So I'm going to have to call it here, you guys. Thank you so much, Iyanla, for spending so much time with me. I so appreciate it. I hope you guys got as much out of it as I did. Remember, Iyanla.com to find out what she's up to. Our Spot podcast. It comes out on Wednesdays, I think. When you listen to that, you don't have to have a relationship problem in your life. Just listen to it and you will learn so much. Thank you. See you guys next week.
You've been listening to Money with Mission. There are projects happening right now where you can have a great financial return while positively affecting the lives of others. To learn more about our opportunities, go to moneywithmission.com.